Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Columbus Common Council Special Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, June 18th, 6:30 p.m., and at this time I will take a roll call, please.
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive is excused. Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostat.
Here.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Thank you. At this time, I would take a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Rostat and a second from Alder Finkler. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. At this time, I would open the floor up to citizen comments, but since there aren't any here, I'm guessing we don't have any comments either. Nothing to be read in or anything. Next item on the agenda is discussion of the Columbus Wastewater Treatment Facility Compliance Maintenance Annual Report, and I believe Jacob is going to be introducing that, correct? Okay.
It's not it.
There you go.
Fat fingers. So essentially, the CMAR is the Compliance Maintenance Annual Report. It is from the year 2023. Basically, it is the maintenance records in our flows and everything for the data that needs to go through to the state to basically show you how well our plant did and how well our utility did as maintaining the facilities and the collection system for the year of 2023. I don't know if any of you have any questions about the report. No? Any? None?
Who did the assessment? Is a self-assessment?
Yes, the plant operator in charge, which would be Peter Galoon. He took over for Katie this past year. He did the report. It was reviewed by me, and then it needs you guys to basically approve for the resolution so we can send it to the state. The state requires a resolution number and signatures of the governing body of when the year. So the next year it'll be handled completely by the Utilities Commission. So this is your farewell CMAR.
Alder Reed, did you have a question?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I was just looking at the one area where we had received the B. Oh dear, a B, for the water, I know, for the water exceeding the expected load. What happens with the extra water? Anything if there's too much?
Essentially what that is saying is that our plant design is designed for the set flow limits for the day, week, month, and essentially the year. We exceeded it for that month on the daily average. So what it's basically saying is that we were able to treat the water because all the other parameters were essentially in compliance. It's just our total flow, which goes into the plant and is processed through the plant, exceeded the plant design limits. So what that is saying is to the DNR and to us is that it's a key indicator that 1 month could be an anomaly, 2 months, it's not a coincidence after a third month. So we're looking to see, is our plant currently at the proper capacity it needs to be, or do we need to look at possibly expanding the plant? Or do we have concerns in the collection system where we're taking on too much of the infiltration and rainwater that should not be entering the sewage system? But essentially, all the water has been treated. We've met full compliance for our discharge limits on the chemical and nutrient side. It's just the flow calculation was exceeding the DNR set point provided to us per our permit.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that was really my concern was whether or not the extra waters had been treated, and since they had, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions? Is everybody comfortable moving this forward to the next meeting for a vote? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is consider Class A alcohol licenses for licensing period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for Walgreens code DBA Walgreens number 10396. Does anybody have any questions, or Susan, do you have any information for us on that one?
I finally received payment for Walgreens. I had previously received the packet, and then they did overnight the payment to me, and they passed their inspection, so they are good to go.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that one? We're all good moving that one forward? Okay. Next is consider cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail license for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th of 2025 for Dolgan Corp. LLC, doing business as Dollar General Store, 10422. And Susan, do you have some information on that one too?
Yes, the Dollar General did decide to move forward and continue to sell cigarettes and tobacco products, so they sent in the payment for that. And I received additional monies from Walgreens for same.
Okay, perfect. Anybody have any questions on those? Are we comfortable moving those forward? Okay, then the next item is to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Oh,
I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Reed. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Did I not wait long enough? My bad.
Okay, with that, we will move right into the Columbus Common Council regular meeting and of Tuesday, June 18th. And welcome to all those that are viewing through the cable channel. With that, I would ask for a roll call, please.
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive is excused. Reed.
Here.
Relke. Here. Rostad.
Here.
Okay, if you'd join me with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Thank you. And with that, I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda with, under correspondence communications, delaying the recognition of Officer Matt Schultz to the July 2nd meeting.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Alder Rosted and a second by Alder Finkler to approve tonight's agenda with the delaying to the July 2nd meeting for Officer Matt Schultz. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next is the consent agenda, and that is the special committee of the whole minutes from May 21st of 2024, and the special committee of the whole and regular council and committee of the whole meetings from June 4th of 2024.
I move to approve the consent agenda with two minor changes. The committee of the whole council minutes for the special meeting on June 4th doesn't indicate that I was absent or present. I was present. And then the, committee of the whole from June 4th. We had one other public comment, and I don't know if we captured the gentleman's name that came in and spoke after Paula. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Uriah? Oh, Monday?
I can add that if you want to approve.
I would second, and this maybe is nitpicky, but also present interim administrator Matt Amundsen. Weren't you officially administrator by then? I guess. Okay.
So sorry about that. That's what happens when you type over names. What was that one?
That is The minutes from the special meeting on Tuesday, May 21st. Which does that mean that you would need to amend your original motion to include that? Yes? Did I get it right?
If you want to be technical, you would offer an amendment, then your amendment has to get seconded, and then
Oh,
that has to get voted on, and then you go back to Michael's motion,
Well, I
if
guess
you want
I
to
would
be
offer-
technical.
Does Michael's motion need a second?
If it hasn't been seconded yet, yes, it
No.
does. Yeah, then he should be seconded first.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I guess I would offer an amendment to change interim administrator Matt Amundson to administrator Matt Amundson under item 1 on the Tuesday, May 21st special committee of the whole minutes.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Alder Roki and a second by Alder Lawson to amend as stated. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then I would go to the motion of Alder Lawson, and who was the second by?
Molly?
Second by Alder Finkler, to approve the consent agenda with the mentioned changes or updates. And any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next on the agenda is new business. And first item is to consider in possible action on the Class A alcohol licenses for licensing period of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025. Chester Bandit Store Incorporated, doing business as Chester Bandit Store. Columbus Market LLC. Dolgencore LLC, doing business as Dollar General Store number 10422. Quick Trip Incorporated, doing business as Quick Trip number 808. Liberty Square Gas Station Incorporated, doing business as Refuel Pantry, Columbus West. Ultra Mart Foods LLC, doing business as Pick and Save number 392. And Walgreens Company, doing business as Walgreens number 10396.
I will move to approve the Class A alcohol licenses for licensing period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for the names listed.
Second.
Motion by Alder Roki and a second by Alder Finkler to approve the Class A alcohol licenses. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the consider and possible action on Class B alcohol licenses for licensing period July 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025 for Columbus Country Club, Columbus Family Restaurant LLC, doing business as Columbus Family Restaurant, Dubs Brew LLC, doing business as Cersei's Brewing Company, James Co. Incorporated, doing business as the Cardinal Cage, Kestrel Ridge Properties LLC, doing business as Kestrel Ridge Golf Course, MP's Town Tap LLC, doing business as MP's Town Tap, and Tequila's Bar and Grill LLC, doing business as Tequila's Bar and Grill.
I'll move to approve Class B alcohol licenses for the below-mentioned businesses.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Lawson to approve the Class B alcohol licenses. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is consider and possible action on Class B beer license for licensing period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th of 2025 for Columbus Transport Company Incorporated, doing business as Kurth Brewery.
I'll move to approve Class B beer license for licensing period July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025 for Kurth Brewery.
Second.
Motion by Alder Rolke and a second by Alder Reed to approve the Class B beer license. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is to consider and possible action on cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail license for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th of 2025. For Chester Bandit Store Incorporated, doing business as Chester Bandit Store, Columbus Market LLC, Dolgencore LLC, doing business as Dollar General Store 10422, James Co. Incorporated, doing business as the Cardinal Cage, Quick Trip Incorporated, doing business as Quick Trip number 808, Last Minute Vape LLC, doing business as Last Minute Vape, Liberty Square Gas Station Incorporated, doing business as Refuel Pantry, Columbus West, Ultramart Foods LLC, doing business as Pick and Save number 392, and Walgreens Company, doing business as Walgreens number 10396.
I'll move to approve cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail licenses for the below businesses for the period of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Rosted to approve the cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping devices. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is to consider and take action on Resolution 3-24, approving the Columbus Adjusted Urban Area Boundary.
Yes, this is a map we update periodically every year or two. In my report, I included the information provided from the Department of Transportation. This really originates from the Federal Department of Transportation, and this is, they essentially want the city's blessing on this boundary for the allocation of transportation funds. So it's officially registering urban versus rural transportation funds, and that's the extent of the map and what it does for transportation.
Okay, could we have a motion?
I'll move to approve Resolution 3-24, approving the Columbus Adjusted Urban Area Boundary.
I will second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, a second by Alder Rolke to approve the Resolution 3-24. Any further discussion? Alder Rosted?
We're just approving the city limit, or the boundary that lies within the city limits, right? Even though it goes over to Fall River, that's just the whole outline of the map? Of the village of Fall River?
Let's take a look at the resolution. I believe, did he just address that boundary piece in his email? It starts with the census-defined urban area. So the urban area is based on that census-defined urban area. And the intent is to capture contiguous urban area and to gain valuable local input to adjust. We do typically like to include all incorporated main city or village. So in this case, the urban boundary is contiguous with Fall River.
Okay. Thank you.
Alder Lawson?
So this map that we're looking at is what they sent to us, and then we adjust if needed. Is that my understanding correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda is to consider and take action on the certified survey map for 146 North Dickinson. Mike, if you would care to just explain.
You approved, the council approved this CSM around the first of the year when we were in kind of a transition phase, and it did not get recorded within 30 days. Our code requires that a CSM get recorded within 30 days, so it is back here for reapproval to follow our city ordinance.
I'll move to approve the certified survey map for 146 North Dickinson Boulevard.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, a second by Alder Rosted to approve the CSM for 146 North Dickinson. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is to consider and take action on the tax incremental finance agreement for 146, which was presented at last Committee of the Whole.
This agreement reflects an incentive based on the commercial aspects of the building at 146 North Dickinson Boulevard. It caps the incentive at $75,000 or the closing of the district. It incentivizes the construction of a building that on the property that is currently vacant. So until that building is built, the increment does not, the increment payment, incentive payments would not start till that happens. So this truly reflects the commercial aspects of the building at 146.
I'll move to approve the tax incremental financing agreement between the city and Keith and Andrea Lopnow for 146 North Dickinson Boulevard.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Rusted to approve the TIF agreement for 146 North Dickinson Boulevard. Discussion, Michael?
Yeah, so just want to make sure we understand what we're doing here. There was a building there, right?
Correct.
And it was raised.
Correct.
So what we're providing in the TIF is based upon the difference from an empty lot to a new building, right? That value, not what was there before.
It is based on what was the difference between the new building and what was there before.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next would be to consider and take action on the proposal from Rhyme for additional storage in the amount of $612.79 upfront and then $1,088.94 per month for backup storage and management. Again, this was discussed at the last Committee of the Whole, but if
I can
there's-
clarify any questions, but this is needed storage based on the growth of data that we're currently using.
And that's basically a lot of that data is used off of their body cams, right? That we
Correct.
talked about.
The biggest driver of our data needs is the body cameras. There's some correction with the rules in terms of data backup that we hope that they'll go in place now, and there's a lag in reducing that data storage. So fingers crossed, this is to help get us to August when those rules go in effect, where the redundancy of storage gets corrected. As has been explained to me by Rhyme, not stuff I understand. Sorry.
Alder Finkler.
I will move to approve the proposal from Rhyme for additional storage in the amount of $612.79 upfront and then $1,088.94 per month for backup storage and management.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Lawson to approve the proposal from Rhyme for the additional storage. Any further discussion? Alder Rosta?
Do we know what the cost might be if we don't make it to August? Did they give you a direction?
I don't have anything on that. The belief is that, again, by kind of reconfiguring this should get us to that point. It doesn't mean that we may not have additional storage needs in the future, but this is their recommendation at this point.
Perfect.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call, please.
Reed,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Finkler. Aye. Rostad,
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 5-0.
Okay, then, next on the agenda is to consider and take action on Resolution 4-24, and that is accepting the Columbus Wastewater Treatment Facility Compliance Maintenance Annual Report.
I'll move that we approve Resolution 424, accepting the Columbus Wastewater Treatment Plant Compliance Maintenance Annual Report.
Second.
Motion by Alder Rolke and a second by Alder Finkler to approve Resolution 4-24. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is to consider and take action on the claims in the amount of $358,416. Let's do this order. Yes, $358,416.82.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted and a second by Alder Lawson to pay the claims. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Finkler.
Aye.
Rostad,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 5-0.
And next is city officers' reports.
Just briefly, a reminder that the police department's continuing their emergency preparedness training this week at the middle school, and there may be increased activity around the middle school as they're doing these exercises. Was happy to participate today in the library's summer reading program. Reminder for anyone interested. A lot of kids, and it was a great time this morning. I was happy to be part of it. Had the opportunity to tour the aquatic center last week. It's a fun time of year, obviously, as the pool becomes busy. It was very busy today. Another great asset, very interestingly, built by the same company in the same time frame that Middleton's pool was built. Pool, just, as a novice tourer of aquatic facilities, it's in really good shape. It's been maintained well, cared well for. And a reminder, this Thursday, the utility staff are hosting tours of all the utility facilities starting at 4 o'clock. That'll be followed by the normal utility commission meeting at 6 p.m. And we anticipate at 6:15 a joint workshop between the utility commission and the council committee of the whole to discuss just coordination level efforts, and there'll be a lot of discussion, I think, after the tours on next steps and facility prioritization that we'll kind of give the 1,000-foot level to, but there's some other topics that we want to go through as well. And so looking forward to that discussion Thursday evening. That's all I have for my report.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of things. June 19th, this Wednesday, tomorrow evening, is the first summer concert series for the HLPC for fundraising for the Rest Haven Restoration Project. Food and drink start at 5 and music starts at 6. And then we still have openings, open positions on the Cable Commission, the Senior Advisory Board, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. If interested in serving your community, please go to the city's website and fill in the online application. And thank you. And with that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Rosted to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Roll right through to the next one? Do we want to roll right through to the next one? We're good? Okay. And welcome back to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, June 18th, and I will seek a roll call at this time.
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive is excused. Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda, and I would seek a motion for same.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Rostad. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. At this time, I would open up the floor for citizen comments. Hearing none, we'll move right into department reports included in tonight's packet. Our community center from 1 of 24, 2 of 24, 3/4 of 24, and 5 of 24. Fire from 5 of 24, police from 5 of 24, and treasurer from 5 of 24. First item up for discussion is discussion on changing the November 5th, 2024 Council and C.O.W meeting date. That is to accommodate the election on that day. And I think the proposal is that we move to October 29th. Is that correct? Okay. Any questions, Alder Rostat?
Can we go back to 5?
5, yes.
Two things. Can we add discussion to that portion of the committee of the whole on the reports? If we have, because like right now we just skipped over it and went right to number 6. Can we add discussion?
You certainly can, but I question what you want to discuss, because the committee of the whole is simply acknowledging receipt of the reports. There's nothing for you to do with these. If you want to talk about them, they should be, if there was a specific item that you wanted to talk about that's in one of the reports, that should probably be an agenda item for a future meeting.
Okay.
Because historically, those have just been basically filed with the committee of the whole or acknowledging receipt, and no action has ever been taken on them.
So how do we go? Okay. I'll just talk with Matt after the meeting.
Okay.
The minutes themselves have already been approved by the appropriate board or committee, right? Okay.
That's my presumption.
Yeah. Okay, so are we back on 6 or okay, we're back on 6. Okay. So is there any discussion on the October 29th as a replacement for November 5th date?
Right. Just to clarify, the reason we've asked for October 29th is trying to move it a day before or a day after the election really doesn't help with the expected workload. So trying to place this on the conveniently placed 5th week at the end of October allows Susan and the rest of our staff more time to help prepare for the election.
Alder Lawson?
My only question is that, I mean, it's only a week before the election. Does that really give you enough time to still do all of your preparations?
It's going to be a crazy week, but. But there's really no other good time to do it. If you wait and do it the week after. Sorry, if you wait and do it the week after, then we're really going to get smashed down into the holidays. So it's better to go the other direction, because we do have the 5th week in October.
And I think I asked this in the staff meeting, but just for the sake of asking it for everybody's benefit, there's nothing within the ordinances that says we have to have 2 meetings in each month and not 3 in one and 1 in the next?
No.
I don't think so. I'll look right now.
I think it says the first and third, but, I mean, the council is. has to
My
have
argument
the
is the council's discussing this
Yes.
over the course of 2 meetings and is having an open discussion
Yes,
about
exactly.
moving the date.
Exactly, yeah.
You can always deviate from that by doing exactly what you're doing here.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. And then there's no Halloween-type conflicts. It should be fine. Really should be fine, I think, at that time.
I think a Tuesday night on a non-October 31st, we'd be as safe as we can be.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Feel free to dress up.
You don't want to leave that open for me.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Alder Rossett?
We're just trying to get away from doing back-to-back meetings, right? Like, if we push it out a week, we have a meeting the 2nd and then the 3rd. That's what we're trying to get away from?
Correct,
Okay. So you still want a week gap?
correct.
Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable moving that date forward for a vote? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is discussion on amendment to agreement for clock tower maintenance.
Was a request from John Salzwedel, who currently does our maintenance. The contract was last increased, so you'll see the original contract was approved in, I believe, 2018. There was an increase in 2021. Asking again for a modest increase. I've drafted an amendment to reflect this. And the amendment then memorializes the increase, whereas the last time it was increased, I think it was just done via council action. So the amendment will memorialize it, we'll include it with the contract for future paper trail for other potential amendments to the contract.
Alder Rossett?
How much time does he spend a month? Is it adequate or fair? I mean, how many other cities have a clock tower to maintain to base it off of?
Right. I think in my review of what we're spending, I think this is a good investment for the city in preserving as you've referenced, a unique feature for the facility.
I guess, are we paying enough for his skill trade? Because it is a unique mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, I think these increases help to get that correct in terms of benchmarking it with other specialists that do this kind of work. I can't speak to that.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. I feel very comfortable with the moderate increases. I feel like it's a pretty rare skill set to be able to maintain a clock tower, and that we might have to look quite a ways in the distance and then have to pay someone to make the drive out. So I feel like it's fair.
Any other questions or discussion? You're comfortable moving this one forward? Joe, were you going to put your hand on your?
That's
Okay,
fine.
okay. All right, next item to discuss is discussion on proposal from RIME to provide iPads for elected officials.
So the proposal's included in the packet. The quote is a total, well, I need to go back to my memo here, sorry. So the total implementation cost is $11,629. What that all entails is 7 iPad devices, getting them ready to be used, creating the Apple accounts, adding the device to a mobile device management software, and then licensing and help desk support through RIME. I think the questions are, is this the right time? We are working through, and one of my concerns has been, making sure that we've got an adequate replacement plan for our staff, for their hardware. We initially reviewed that. They're making some modifications. The budget amendment allows us to implement both a replacement plan for this year, as well as these devices. So I'm less concerned that we're in a bad place for staff, and that we'll be going, I think initial review shows that we should be able to implement a 3-year replacement plan for staff devices, which is industry standard and where we want to be. That'll be discussed more as we go through the budget process. Anything we can do this year, obviously, trying to get a third of our devices each year so that we're not having bulk replacements. Because that helps manage it both on Rime's part as well as us from a budgetary standpoint. So I've come around to being comfortable with where we're at. I'm not trying to force that on you, but I appreciate Rime's work, and as we get into this acceptable use policy, there's now a very lively thread of city administrators talking about how they're doing electronic meetings, policies that they have in place, issues they've encountered. And so now I get a lot of correspondence because I started the ball rolling with who's implemented this. So there's like about 10 different cities that have kind of went back and forth on how they're addressing and administering their program.
Alder Reed?
Thank you. While I'm probably the only one that prefers sticking with paper packets, I feel safe in that assumption. I have not looked over the features of the website for the new possible product, and I was wondering, is there a writing feature on it to be able to take notes?
That is something that I want to say yes, but I also don't want to say something that's wrong. So I will go back and clarify that answer before we have this discussion with the council, because I do think that's important to be able to take notes. That is my belief. It was one of the objectives that we talked about originally, so I'd be surprised if it wasn't in, but I do want to confirm that that is part of what we're getting, because I think that's an important feature for all of you.
Thank you.
Alder Lawson?
I think Ryan was next.
Alder Rosted?
Just that link that they provided, or you provided, when you click on it, it says that the iPad is $499. Here they're saying $7,848 a device.
I can share with you that I recently received a new laptop for my own work use, and I could have went to C.O.W. and bought it for cheaper. When Rime purchases the device, they then take all the responsibility of filing all the warranty information. There are some advantages to doing so. We have to make the determination of is that per device increase worth our investment or not. But it's also the situation that we're in where they have the capabilities and staff to do some of this, where we internally don't have someone that can do all of these things.
I guess what I should have said, was it intended just to show us what we're gonna get?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my mistake, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think the $499 includes the Magic Keyboard. That's a separate
Yeah.
purchase.
Correct. But I don't think that's the full difference. I'm going to be realistic, and that's not the full difference between the advertised costs and what we're paying.
Yeah, they probably make some kind of markup.
Alder Lawson?
I think this is a bit overkill for our needs. I'd rather see the money go to replacing staff machines. I mean, I bought from our own office supply stipend a tablet that does everything I needed to. The only thing I can't get on there is the closed session information. So I'm in favor of not making that purchase.
Mayor Hammer?
Do we have a clue as to savings getting away from all the paper?
We haven't factored that. It's something clearly Rime could do a calculation for us on based on, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the cost of not just the paper, but there's the cost of the toner that's all used. The rhyme machine, is that a lease program?
Yes.
So you're paying per copy too
Correct.
of everything that you print
But
off. So
Maybe more importantly is the staff time spent.
and staff time also.
So
yeah.
I mentioned when we met earlier today to talk through the agenda, Susan and I participated in the first training session with the new agenda management software. We've got 3 trainings scheduled over the next roughly 7 weeks, and hope that implementation of that new software is going to occur maybe faster than originally thought. The amount of time savings that is going to provide. Also, I was not expecting that all of you will have the ability to log in through that software, and it'll be almost like an app type feature on a device if we get devices where things like closed session packets, you would be able to log in and have access to that, different than the public facing access. So still more to learn on that because we're just starting that process, but excited about that.
Alder Finkler?
We should be able to take notes, because I know I have a pen for my iPad at home. So I'm fairly confident we'll be okay there. I think, although it may be perceived potentially as an overkill at this point, I do think it is beneficial to have the closed sessions, us being able to get to it on the iPad, being able to get what we need, and then also it leaves opportunity for growth in this area. I would hate to implement a Cadillac of this. I know I've talked with you, Matt, about this, and I think doing like the bare bones initial, let's, figure that out first and let's get that moving. I'm all for it, just for the fact of it's going to save time, money on paper, toner, print, all of that. And it will be like there, because, for example, this Friday I was busy doing errands and other personal items that I forgot to get my packet. So I had to come in yesterday to get my packet. I would have had it all weekend with the closed session information if I would have had my iPad. So I am all about this. My only question is, how is this on a 3-year cycle too?
It would have to be. We'd have to incorporate this, and again, that not knowing what our numbers look like fully for the staff of how we structure that, because obviously it would all be done at one time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I wanted to bring this and know that there's still some things to work out, and feel like in 2 weeks I'm going to have some better answers on what our overall replacement plan looks like, how this factors in, and knowing a little bit more about how our new proposed software is going to integrate in terms of the being able to take notes and some of those things.
Are there any other questions, comments, discussion? Are we all comfortable moving this forward for a vote? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is discussion on a policy governing elected officials' use of city-owned devices for the purpose of conducting city business.
So this policy is modeled after other communities that have went to electronic devices provided to elected officials. It's kind of a concise, condensed look at what the issues are. Happy to discuss anything specifically, but just kind of, I think in theory, it basically says you're still the steward of your own records. We're able to, anything that's done by email through the city email account on these devices is captured. Are there ways of getting around things, as my 15-year-old talks about how they beat the Chromebook blockers for the newest generic version of Fortnite at school? I'm clearly aware that you can get around things and be malicious. I know that's not anyone's intent, but this policy kind of basically protects the city in that you, like staff, become stewards of your own records, so.
Anybody have any questions about this? Alder Lawson?
So, you mentioned that the software for the agendas is potentially accessible through an app.
Well, I believe, I probably said something wrong. I believe there's a login, and I think that is through like a web-based application, whether that's an app or whether it's you just go to this site and log in. It's probably one that you stay logged into on your device, hopefully.
So this to me sounds like this is really for the iPad model that we just talked about. Do we already have in our what is it called? Code of Ethics. Something that would be applicable to like the app or web-based thing that you're talking about? I mean, I know we probably have something that addresses email, but
I think this could get added in the future, but because we're kind of doing this mid-council cycle, I wanted to, and then it can be a discussion of whether this gets wrapped into that code of ethics, if there's additional things, but I knew initially we needed to have something to address this and be kind of piecemeal with the devices. That obviously, if we decide not to purchase the devices, we don't have to do anything with this acceptable use policy. But if we decide to move forward with the devices, I wanted to make sure we had the policy in place.
thank you.
Alder Finkler?
I have one quick question. If an elected official chooses to utilize their own device, would we then, like, on demand with our 7 devices, could we say, hey, implement 5, 6 right now, you know, and then maybe in the future, if somebody's like, oh, I don't want this anymore, can we get our money back? Is it like fluid, or is it straight 7 devices across the board, whether or
Well,
not?
we have the ability to adjust that quote number of what we want to get. And the policy allows someone to utilize their own device to access the paperless materials. So I think that can be handled a number of different ways. I think once we purchase them, the ability to give them back is probably not realistic, but
Right.
could there be other applications within the city? Very
We can
likely.
use it, right, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, are we comfortable moving this one forward? Okay, thank you. Next item is to convene to close session per 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss the city's contractual arrangement for building inspection services.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion from Alder Rostad and a second from Alder Finkler. Any discussion? Okay. Could I have a roll call, please, Susan?
Aye.
I'll repeat that. Rostad for the tape.
Aye.
Thank you. Reed. Aye. Finkler.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Motive is excused. Hammer.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
We are not coming back onto the air tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.